Afternoon. How are you doing? Everybody hit those thumbs. Afternoon, Steve, Danny, Kenny, Fletch, Penny Trader, Evil. They killed Kenny. Virginia, Al, Alan Bay, Evans, Crom, Gregors, Peter, Crom, Beggars, blah, 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 blah. Going mad. It's Friday afternoon. Christian, who retracted his message as I said his name. How are we all doing? Fridays. They're fast becoming the new Friday. So, this morning, it's moved. It's moved. So this morning, took a trade on the DAX and the FTSE. The FTSE still hasn't got out of the range. Look. But the DAX has moved now. I'm sitting here checking on it like every hour. Not moving. They're going to make money out of this. Afternoon, Gav, Julio. So we've just had the unemployment rate for Canadian come out, 5.7. Everybody's unemployment rate is dropping, which is good. Because it means businesses are starting to roll, which is nice. But interesting reaction to the Canadian. So we got, oh my God, it's going up again. Let's look at EuroCAD because that's had the least impact today. So we got, when the news came out, we got a big spike down, meaning massive Canadian strength. They undid all that Canadian strength. So basically you would imagine unemployment going down is good for the Canadian dollar. Normally, yes. And then we had a big rally and now we're back to exactly where we started, as you can see. So complete and utter whipsaw out of the move. I suspect the Canadian will probably rally off of this afternoon. Difficult to tell. It's really mixed reaction to that. I suspect because of where we are with interest rates at the moment. Obviously, everything is reliant on waiting for these interest rate drops to happen. With the Canadian dollar, we're sitting at the moment on 5. We obviously haven't moved for ages. Inflation has just started to tick up again. And you would expect that to cause either stagnation or a tick up in the unemployment rate because we've got sustained interest rates, but it's come down, which is good. So it relieves the pressure on the Canadian dollar from that respect. As long as we get CPI coming down next time, there's a good chance that they will then think about seriously reducing interest rates. So that figure there has really helped with them to not do anything but start to drop that down. It does mean sometimes, though, it gives them the opportunity to pump it if inflation isn't going down as fast as possible. As long as your unemployment's not going up, you can squeeze it up a little bit more. So it gives the Canadians opportunities to do either, which is why I suspect the market hasn't really had any big, strong reaction to it in any direction, because it could be positive, it could be negative. So it's hard to tell. So we'll wait and see what New York makes of it this afternoon. But we have obviously had quite a few ADR hits across the board today, but nothing much, as you can see on the CAD. We'd already had hits. I don't mean it's just nudged the CAD Swiss over ADR, but so yeah, very, very, very mixed reaction to that today. So yeah, we'll see what happens this afternoon. I was expecting a big move off of it, but we don't seem to be getting it. So, yeah. And these indices just driving me up the wall. So, still in the DAX from this morning. I'm not going to bother getting out. It's hedged. That's hedged. I'm targeting the lows. I've got a horrible feeling today it's going to be a Quintuple hedge. The way these markets are reacting this week is just bizarre. So we'll see how we get on. We obviously had a big movement off of the news because obviously the Canadian affects the US, the US affects the stock index. So we've had the spike, but as you can see, it's kind of return to origin type thing, and it's dropping a little bit now. So there's no real reason, I don't think, why we shouldn't be able to get a move today off the back of this. It hasn't gone far enough. We haven't hit ADR anywhere, so there's plenty of room for movement. So we'll see how we go there. But yeah, interesting reaction today. Afternoon, Julio, David. Happy Friday, JC, Dougal, US 30 just had a surge. Yeah, that's the news. Afternoon, Rico, Brian, Martin. 18,000, so close on the NAS. ADR today, big round number, ADR. 38,800 is what we're bouncing off there. We've got 39 approaching on the Dow. The S&P is sitting exactly on that 5,000 level. Over here, look. So this is possibly a rejection of 5,000 we're seeing. Big round number. So if we break down below that today, everyone will be going, nah, we're not going above 5,000 yet. And they'll sell the crap out of it. Reckon this US dollar's rallying. It'll annoy me because that's going to stop my US dollar yen out. Yeah, US dollar's rallying. Market, that's driving me nuts. Very tricky market at the minute. So strength coming through on the US dollar at the moment. So we have 20 seconds to the open. So we'll see where we go at the open. Hopefully we get some volume today. We've been lacking volume, really lacking volume recently. So hopefully we get some decent strength coming through. And my server arrived today. My new MetaTrader 4 server is sitting over there, ready to go. So I shall be configuring him this afternoon. Short on the Dow. Short on the NASDAQ. And there's the triple. Let's go short today, shall we? Afternoon, Kennelly, Steve. US 30 tanking. Yeah. Everything's coming down at the moment. US dollar's on a rally. I suspect the CAD's probably rallying as well. I would imagine it makes sense for the Canadian dollar to rally, it's impossible to tell, isn't it? Obviously, this coming down would be a Canadian dollar rally, but I mean, we need to give it an hour, I think, just to see if the market rallies behind that Canadian move. The euro's pushing up against the CAD. Pound's pushing up against the CAD. US dollar's pushing up against the CAD, but the US dollar's rallying anyway. So it's very, can't read it at the moment. You can't read what's going on anywhere. Market's digesting the news, I would say. At the moment, we will see. Afternoon, Neo, champagne. Okay, so push back up inside the range on the Dow and the S&P. I said this morning, we're going to end Friday with a triple clean break on the US indices, which is just going to scream straight down to target. What's the betting? every single one of these hedges today. I'm sitting in 2 hedges from the European session. Why not make it 5? The way this thing's going at the moment, this market is just not interested. We've lost all ability to move in any orderly fashion. See where we go. We'll give it 5 minutes and then we'll have a look at the FX side of things because there's a lot of ADRs today, a lot of RSIs. Weekly range on the New Zealand dollar Swiss is now 175% of its normal weekly range and coming down nicely off the top. It's good. But yeah, so that's come down already. We looked at that one this morning as a reversal, which obviously I took. Coming down nicely. But yeah, it's quite a few ADRs today. Good ADRs as well, like 175s, 150s. So some really good opportunities for shorts today. Just need that yen to kick in. Jeez. Bloody yen! In my head in the end. Totally. Killing me. Whoops. Okay, 1 minute to go till this 5 minute initial candle is in. So first 5 minutes looking slightly bullish across the board. Bears have tried to continue that rally we put in just pre-market and not able to do much at the minute. It stinks of this morning, doesn't it? At the moment. Okay, 2R now down on the DAX. So we were watching this level on the DAX this morning. It was basically the Wednesday low. We tapped into that, rejected it, pushed up, came back, retested it, rejected it. So this has been rejected 3 times now. So we know there's a lot of buyers sitting at that point from the low on Wednesday. So this area that we're approaching now, which is here at 3R, is a potential bounce point today. Failing that, I'm looking at yesterday's low. So we'll see if we can get down to that level. I'm going to watch price action at that level and see if we can get a move off that. Okay, so back in inside the pre-market range on these two. We're still short on the NAS though. We've got no more news this afternoon either. So that's it for news today. Nothing more to look at. Okay, NASDAQ breaking down, testing the low of the day, or the low of the session rather. The Globex low on the NAS is quite a lot further down, which is beyond TP1 today for me to the downside. So we need to break that Globex low to get target. There's a new low of the session got in. Ninth. So we've just had Pepsi pre-market today. So there's not really much earnings to look at. Okay, nice break on the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ looking like it wants to break short today. We got that pre-market level on the Globex, which that's where we took off at the Frankfurt Open. So we're going to come back and retest this propulsion move, which is where we are sitting at the moment. So we'll see if this rally out the highs that we got today is something they're going to sustain. If we're going to continue in bullish market structure, we're going to pull back and rally out of that level there somewhere. This is stuck again. Unbelievable. These just stuck. Everything's stuck. Nasty. Nasty little market. Right. We'll come back to that. Give it 5 or 10 minutes. I'll come back to that and have a look at where we've gone. So ADRs today, there's a lot of them. So there's 2 big weekly breaks today. Aussie, New Zealand. Well, I say today. It is actually today. So Aussie, New Zealand, we're very extended now. Normal weekly range on this is 103. We're sitting at 155. So it's 150% of its normal weekly range. So you can see we've just had the reversal on that, pulling back nicely. So this is the ADR reversal account. So I've got the ADR reversal on today. Entry was there. It's pushing up nicely. I'm targeting that propulsion gap. So I'm literally just looking for a quick in and out today, testing that first propulsion gap there, which is basically the break we got this morning. So last night we had Bullock speaking, and we had a continuation rally in the New Zealand overnight. So it's testing that level is what I'm looking for to see if we are going to continue in that direction. Obviously, there's a possibility. This whole thing here. So this propulsion gap. When you get 2 candles, propulsion gap followed by a propulsion gap, I kind of class the whole thing as one big move. So this whole thing here, at any point in here, I would expect to find some selling if we're going to continue on a down leg. So we'll see what happens with that one. Obviously, there's an opportunity for it to completely reverse this move next week and end up all the way back up there. But this is an ADR reversal, so it's a short-term play. So that's a big weekly extension, big extension on the day. Aussie dollar Swiss is also an ADR hit to the upside, 125. Got short on this morning. There. Oh, just literally have just got short on it. That's the first reversal we've had. So target. If this is going to double top, and it looks like lovely wick rejection at 125 ADR, although obviously it's pushing back up again at the minute. Just 2 hours of indecision, basically. It's pushed down, pushed up, can't go anywhere. So if it's going to double top, no reason why we might not come down and retest this low. So I'll target that propulsion gap at the bottom, see where we go. So that's Aussie dollar Swiss. CAD Swiss is a weekly hit, and also an ADR hit again today. Already got 3 positions on this one. First entry taken on the ADR hit on Wednesday. Scaled in at the swap, a little bit close actually, but scaled in at the swap yesterday. And third entry taken this morning as we pushed up. So averages are within ADR, nice and easy to reach. So I'm just going to set targets on this. I'm going to retarget that propulsion gap. So that was the initial target down there for the first position. Oh, sorry, got 4 positions on this now. So that was the first. Oh, yeah, so we had an ADR hit last week, didn't we? Which we just went sideways for 2 days on. So that was the initial target down there. So just moving target up to here. Get out in that propulsion. Euro New Zealand also extended to the downside. First entry taken on that one today. If we can get him push up to ADR today, I'll take it. So that's a nice entry. 5-minute reversal off of 125 ADR. Come on, platforms, useless. So there's your entry. Reversal alert. Trigger, retest, market structure up. So on that one already, Euro New Zealand, that's 125. It's also extended on the weekly. Pound odd and pound CAD have just about hit ADR and bounced straight off of it. We literally just tapped into ADR and then bounced. So you've just had the reversal alert on that one. Same with the pound CAD. I think we've just had that one. Yeah, a bit of a messy entry that, because we had the big spike down on the Canadian dollar and then we've retraced back up again. So a little bit more of a messy entry, but That one's just hit and rejected, almost hit 125. Didn't quite get in on that one because we didn't hit the 125 level. Pound New Zealand, that's extended on the hourly. You just missed my target by that much. No, you didn't. Closing that. Not having that. Literally missed my TP by a pip. Out. Pound New Zealand done. New Zealand CAD. So first entry taken on that one. Unbelievable. Brokers. That's my target. That's my entry. That's where price pushed to. Beyond my target. The spread was like that when they got there because they didn't want me to get out. So that hit TP. I didn't get it. Just for that, Mr. Broker, I'll take a little bit more money. Thank you. So yeah, hit target on that one, but didn't get filled. New Zealand dollar Swiss, we've looked at big entry, pushing down into the first propulsion gap on that. Don't need to get very far on that to make a decent amount of money. New Zealand dollar yen. First entry on that one today, more yen exposure on. I'm going with a big target on that because all these yens have been pushing really hard for a week. So I'm just trying to get a little bit extra out of these on the way down. So targeting 125 to the downside on that one, that propulsion gap there. There's a good chance we're going to come back and retest this area here, which is this propulsion move, which is what we broke out of these highs using. And then they just rallied from there. So there's a good chance we may test that if it's going to continue long. I don't think it will because that means the US dollar's got to push up above that 150 level against the yen. I think it's going to struggle to do that, but we'll see. It might do. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, that hit ADR, rejected. That was off the news though. It did actually hit before the news. So you had a reversal before the news as well on this one. In there. So you had an alert there off of ADR because that was an ADR hit. So that was your entry. And then obviously we've pushed up again. So it's pushing a second entry in there. But that one only just tapped into ADR. So quite a few good opportunities there today. I've banked a whopping great 0.14% on that move that I just closed out. But I'm not letting it go to that close to target and run away with the cash. Euro US dollar pushing nicely. I'm getting out of this as well. Euro US dollar. I'm fed up with it. You watch it pump now and skyrocket. But I've been stuck in this thing for a whole week, and it's just not getting anywhere. It keeps pretending it's going to go and retest propulsion, and it's struggling. Look at the size of these wicks that have just gone in. I mean, bulls have tried for 2 hours now. We're struggling, aren't we? So I'm just going to take it and run just in case that US dollar rallies. Nothing else to bank there at the moment. Could take Aussie New Zealand off, but give that the benefit of the doubt. US dollar Swiss and CAD Swiss are the only two that are, I mean, they're only 1.6s, but we're 4 positions in, 3 positions in on those. And pound Swiss, so it's all Swiss franc basically that's been pushing against this week. Very weak Swissy, but that will correct itself very quickly. Not going anywhere again. Stuck. Totally stuck. Everything. Afternoon, Amy. Meh. Amazes me how different my ADR dashboard is. I realize different brokers will vary, but my MT4 IG platform is not showing hardly any of the 125s. And above that, yours does CAD Swiss. No ADR at all. CAD Swiss is hit ADR. 38 today. Yeah, different brokers will be different, especially if you're using someone like IG, because it's not real, is it? It's like it's betting. You're gambling. You are spread betting with IG. It's not even proper CFD trading. It's the lowest level of broker, IG. As Steve's just said, just make sure you got 10 days worth of data as well. Yeah. So go up to your daily chart, make sure it loads at least 10 days worth of data. You'll be surprised how many brokers don't load any data when you start. So you download the terminal, you open up a chart, it's on the 15-minute time frame, and that happens. There's no data. Then the data loads. Yeah. So some brokers don't auto-download data. If you haven't got 10 days worth of data, you haven't got ADR 10. If you haven't got ADR 10, you can't get the numbers. So just check. I mean, it's unusual these days, but it happens. It does happen. Put each pair on a daily chart, hit the home button. Yeah. So there's your ADRs. So there's lots of those as opportunities today. NASDAQ's putting back up inside the opening range. We're rejecting at 1R today. So that propulsion gap on the NASDAQ, which is where we started the rally at the Frankfurt Open, they are adding back into that at the moment. So we'll see if the sellers that started prior to New York are going to add more volume and obviously run down. See where we go. RSIs. So there's lots of RSI extensions. The vast majority of these, we looked at all this morning, but the vast majority of these are exactly the same as the ADRs today because it's all yen-based and New Zealand dollar-based movement today. A little bit of CAD. So Aussie dollar yen extended on the hourly. First entry taken on that one today. Just got into that. I'm going to go down with go down to ADR, see if we can get that propulsion gap. So Aussie dollar yen hourly RSI extension. That's also extended on your 4 hour. This yen really weak at the moment. That yen. Oh. It's going to be one of those months. I can feel it already. Feel it. Aussie dollar yen. Aussie dollar New Zealand dollar. First position on that one taken this morning. That was an extension this morning. As you can see, that's the 4 hour chart, but we were massively extended. We looked at this one this morning. We were looking this morning at if you wanted to take an A++ setup. Yeah, so if you were happy just to take maybe 1 or 2 trades a quarter, but with a 99.9% accuracy rate and stick 10% on each trade to double an account. Yeah. Anything below 15 and over 85 on RSI, you're getting to get it. Yeah, it's so unusual for it to get anywhere up near those levels and not absolutely collapse. The market has to be so extended to get extended above that 80, 85 level on RSI on 4 hour and the hourly. You get those big, strong pullbacks, which is obviously, that's just started. We're literally just about to trigger the reversal out on the 4 hour time frame. So I'm in on that on the hourly. Hard one to target, this one. So I'm just kind of going below the accumulation from yesterday. But really the whole day yesterday was kind of a weird accumulative move before that pulled down. So I'm going to watch what happens when we get up to there. If we get up to 150, I'll look at the P&L. I'll probably just shut it out manually. But there's a good chance we're going to come back and undo this move. So this New Zealand dollar, very strong off the back of the unemployment figures, but not convinced it should be that strong. So I think this could well be just a move that they're putting in to try and entice shorts in and then flip it straight back up again. I still think we're probably going to be a little bit more like that. But it only takes one piece of good Australian news and that will trump it. The Aussie economy is much stronger than New Zealand. So we just haven't had very good news out of New Zealand, out of Australia over the last couple of months. So It's just been weak. So that one's extended on the 4 hour. Massive extension. Big opportunity to get in long there. So 15-minute reversal alert was down there. I took the 5, which happened there. 15 happened there. So good looking opportunity for longs. CAD Swiss, we know about. We've looked at the CAD Swiss already. That's an ADR hit today. 4 hour RSI extension and divergence. Got double divergence. You got short-term divergence there. You got long-term divergence there. All bearish. Just waiting for that Swiss franc. That's a beautiful monthly double high bounce with a 3-bar reversal and shooting star at resistance with RSI extension. What more do you need to go short? Literally every signal under the sun on paper, plus a reversal alert to tell you the sellers have just taken control of the market. So yeah, I'm not in that one though, because we didn't get an RSI extension on the hourly, and I stick to my strategies. So I am in that though on the, I think I'm in it on the other account, aren't I? CAD Swiss? Yeah, I'm already in it on H1, on ADR. CAD Yen also extended. Again, another yen play. First entry taken on that one on the H1 extension yesterday. M5 reversal alert was in there. Just grinding up gradually still at the moment with that yen. And obviously the Canadian dollar, we don't know yet. We're waiting to see what the market makes of it. So far, it's really not got a clue, has it? Look. Yeah, that's the news. That's the post news. It doesn't know, does it? So we're waiting to see what they make of that unemployment number. But CAD Yen extended on the hourly yesterday above. We're still extended today, so we're embedded a little bit there. 4 hour RSI extension above the 75 level. So really big extension there. Just looking for the normal pullback move. Looking for a push back into this area here somewhere. So I'm targeting the lowest propulsion gap at the moment. But obviously if we get down to there and I see a bounce, I'll be out. We've got a couple of minor extensions on the Euro Swiss there. That was massively extended yesterday. We looked at this one yesterday. We're looking for a propulsion gap test. This is in a downtrend and it's pulling back up to the 72. So when you're in a downtrend, you use the 24. In a strong trend, when the trend weakens, we test the 72. If we put in a higher low, we're going to retest the 72 and form either a symmetrical triangle break, or that's going to be confirmed as a market structure break to the upside. So this 72 bounce is going to be quite key. If we do get that, there's a good chance that this is just going to continue and contract. But equally, it could just bounce back down again. But it's looking like it wants to go bull a little bit here. These two are very tricky to trade because they both move together. So it needs one of them to get a really big, strong move to actually get this rolling. And it's usually the Swiss franc, but weak at the minute. So difficult to know what to do with that. Euro yen, first entry taken on this one on the hourly. It's a 4 hour RSI extension as well, but it was taken on the hourly yesterday. Reversal alert in there, but obviously the yen today looked like it was powering up this morning and then it lost all its power. So still not bearish, not bullish. It's just not anything at the minute. We've just gone sideways today with a load of volatility. So targeting propulsion to the downside on that. So looking for a potential bounce off of this level here. I'm targeting just above the propulsion gap, just in case we get the bounce there. Euro New Zealand as well. That's extended to the downside. On the 4 hour, no entries on this one, but it has just tapped it. So not a great entry. Bit of a mess, Euro New Zealand at the minute. That is a 125 ADR extension, so I'm in on the other account on that one. Pound New Zealand also extended on the 4 hour. Got the first entry on this one today on the hourly. So that is your H1M5 mean reversion entry. Targeting just under the previous day's low. So this accumulation break. So looking for a retest. If it's going to continue down, if it goes up, I'm out anyway. New Zealand dollar Swiss. First entry on that one, short. Going to go for a big run on this. I really think whenever we get a really weak run on the Swissy, you quite often get a big pump come back in. So I'm going for a fairly decent target on this one. Propulsion's probably achievable on this to the downside, but I'm going to go with support. So that's your last high. Then we literally steamrolled straight through that level. So when we come back down, anybody that was short there got rolled over, flipped long. They'll be pushing back out of that position. New Zealand dollar yen. One short on that, targeting propulsion. So that's H1 RSI extension embedded. H4 also embedded and above. Like this is the one I think we looked at this morning, wasn't it? And we basically did this. We're like, look at the last time we got here. There, bang, there, bang. Yeah. A minimum of that, if not a full, huge reversal. So big, strong moves across the board with those yens, but specifically New Zealand. So if you look at a currency strength meter, I think there is one from this morning. I don't think they published one this afternoon, have they? But if you look at the currency, not loading any more data. Netanyahu tells the Israeli Defense Force to plan for an evacuation of Rafah. Does that mean pull out of Rafah, or does that mean evacuate the people in Rafah? That could mean either. Because if they're pulling out of Rafah, that means a de-escalation in the war. If they're pulling everybody out of Rafah, it means they're going to bomb the crap out of Rafah, which is an escalation. Or rather, a continuation. Very useful, is it? So yeah, if you look at currency strength, obviously, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the New Zealand dollar is the strongest thing on the planet at the moment. And the Swiss franc is also the weakest thing at the moment. But you've got the yen is the second weakest currency out there. So when you look at the New Zealand dollar yen, obviously, it's just a bigger than normal move because the New Zealand dollar is the strongest thing we've got at the minute and the yen has been the weakest thing for the last couple of days. So you just get that movement, which is twice as big, twice as extended, twice as stretched, twice as fast the pullback. So good opportunity for shorts there, but we need some strength in this yen. It's not playing ball at the moment. The only other on the hour, the only other extension we did have was US dollar CAD, but as you can see, we just had the hourly update, so that's no longer extended on the hourly. So there's your RSIs. I give up with these indices. Somebody has literally switched off the open on all indices. It's just not reacting at the open at all at the moment. It's dead. Totally dead. Hedged on the NASDAQ and the S&P. Dow is still short. So that means the US dollar's coming down, though, which is probably a good thing. Can't really tell. US coming down against the US, that's going up. Not less than at the moment. You can't really tell what's going on with anything. There's no continuity anywhere. So hedged on the NASDAQ. Right, DAX TP hit 5R, 4R. So my TP's been hit on the DAX. Let's look at the DAX first. Let me just quickly look at what the FTSE's up to. So FTSE's out the lows as well. So we're only 1R on the FTSE, so that's nowhere near anything, is it? So yeah, out the DAX to the downside. So aggressive exit going in on the DAX. So this is the bounce I was looking for at yesterday's low. So let's see if we get this bounce from here. Failing that, we're looking at coming down and retesting one of these levels here. That is the most obvious because it's a double bottom. So there will be strength at that level there. Yeah, so watch that level, which is 168.66. That's nearly ADR. But we'll see if we get the buyers triggering limit orders at this level. They've certainly bought immediately. It's whether or not they continue to buy off the back of that move. So we'll see if they get overpowered, but certainly seems like a lot of strength coming in. Is that euro moving? Little bit of euro strength coming in. Not a great deal. There's not a real great deal of movement or strength anywhere, is there? I mean, look at it. It's just sideways. Everything's sideways. So we'll trail down the aggressive drawdown exit, aggressive exit position. I'm not going to get out the FTSE because I don't think that's anywhere near. There's absolutely no reason for the FTSE to bounce where it is. Yeah. So we have got this little accumulation which it could react at, but it's very hard to pick a level to the downside here because you've got this area here, you've got these highs here, but it's just a choppy mess. There's millions and millions of levels that price has reacted at. There's nothing confluent that you can say, well, that's an obvious level. So I've gone with the highs here. We've got a hit, a hit, a hit, a hit, broke through, support. So resistance 4 times turned into support is the strongest level I can see. So I'm picking that. But it could bounce out of this accumulation. So we pushed, accumulated, and repushed, but that was a news event. So it didn't really have a choice to push, but to push from there. But it does mean we might find buyers in this area. So we'll see. But DAX, we're an inside bar at the moment. So we'll see how we get on with the DAX. So NASDAQ. Downside target on the NAS. I will go with the previous day's low, which is the top of that propulsion gap. Yeah, so we pushed, broke through this high. That was the propulsion move. We added back in for 3 hours. We tested it the next day, added back in again. We've now pushed up, broken that high, and added back in at that propulsion. So if it does break through here and that doesn't hold, there's nothing really to stop it until we get down there. So that'll be the short target. Upside target, I'm going to leave at ADR, 5R, big round number, 18,000. So it's Friday. It's not the end of the month. It's not the end of the quarter. It's not a triple witching. It's hardly unlikely we're going to get enough movement to hit an ADR, is it? But we'll see. I seem to be saying the same thing every Friday at the moment, don't I? Fridays are just not a good day to trade at the moment. Before everybody says it, everybody says you shouldn't trade on a Friday afternoon. I've made loads of money on Friday afternoons. I've got P&Ls to prove it. It's a myth. But when it happens on a Friday, you have to think that rule of don't trade on Fridays is real. But anyway, so upside target, 5R on the Dow. Oh, no, sorry, we're not hedged on the Dow, are we? Right, Dow's fine at the minute, though it's not going anywhere. So downside target S&P, just pulling up within ADR today, which is a good spot because we have last week's high, which you'll have orders sitting at last week's high as we've broken it. So they'll be looking to buy last week's high. We've got this propulsion move here, which we've bought up. We didn't manage to get to that yesterday. So it's either going to bounce out of yesterday's low or it's going to come down and retest support. So ADR seems like a good opportunity downside, and it's within 5R. It's about 4R, I think. Yeah, just shy of 4R. Upside, I'm just going to stick with that. If we break up and out of that level, we're in new territory. So, although we're not actually in new territory because we did make a high the previous day, didn't we? Oh, no, it was yesterday. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, 5R, we're out into new territory. So your options are, we take that high of the, sorry, this is the high of today, isn't it? Can't look, useless on 5-minute charts. Yeah, so it's that high there. So if we break out of the high of the day today, we're in new territory. So just going to leave it at 5R and see if we get some kind of exhaustion at the end of that move. Fridays, fast becoming my nemesis. Okay, so still waiting for an aggressive entry. So we got an inside bar on the DAX. So sellers didn't make any more progress. Neither of the buyers, though. Come back to that in a minute. Hedging banked 1.1% today. Nothing else to bank at the minute. Just waiting for stuff to move. There's nothing in really bad drawdown there. Same as the rest. New Zealand dollar Swiss is the only thing that's in a little bit of drawdown, which is in 1.5%. But out of the longs on that, far too soon. Out of those longs. Next reversal alert is all the way down there, so I'm not going to get another entry on it at the minute. So we'll just sit in that and wait. But yeah, 1.1 banked, so 18.8% banked so far this month. Aussie dollar, US dollar is getting close to potentially taking some off, but tricky to know what to do that at the moment. That Canadian and the US. Huge whipsaw, isn't it? Looks like the Canadian is weakening a little bit. Yeah, Euro's pushing up against the CAD. Pound's pushing up against it. There we go. So that's everything today. Let me catch up on chat. GJ, SMH. What's SMH stand for? Some mothers have them. Out of NASDAQ. Well done. Please write all indicator names you have on your chart, sir. Please go to the website and look at the indicators page, sir. Literally, 2 chats above what you said is a link to the indicators page. On a news site in my country, they say evacuation of civilians from Rafah. Right, yeah. So that would make more sense. That the Israelis have been told to plan for an evacuation of Rafah, i.e. get the people out of Rafah. Because there's nowhere else for them to go now, is there? They're literally, everybody's in Rafah. So you cannot bomb Rafah without killing everybody. So they have to get everybody out of Rafah somehow, don't they? So yeah. And that means basically they have completely swept through Gaza, and that's it. There's nothing left of Gaza. So this is always my thing with wars, like with the war in Ukraine. What is the point in obliterating the thing? If you want it, yeah, wiping it out doesn't help, does it? Because you're basically left with a wasteland. What are you going to do with that? You've run out of money because you've been running a war for years, so you haven't got any of that left. You can't build anything, and you're just left with a load of rubble and refugees who you've got to feed without money because you ran a war. Pointless. The whole thing's pointless, apart from eradicating an entire race, which we tend to go to war over. Anyway, the usual positive correlations have broken down. Yeah, at the moment it's earnings. It's earnings at the moment. You do get complete uncorrelation with earnings quite often because obviously different indices have different earnings at different times, so they go different ways. But we will see. Sorry to bother you. That's okay. But asking me to write everything down on a chart when there's a link going on the chat literally every few minutes to the website, and there's a load of information going along about the indicators at the bottom, seems like a little bit of a over requirement of my time. Sorry. If it's your first time in here and you're not from England, I'm from England, and my sarcasm doesn't usually work on American crowds. The usual positive. Yeah, I read that. Just for interest, CAD Swiss IG 12 a.m. open shows it with 33.4 ADR, but 31.5 high low. Trade your charts, Wayne. Don't trade anybody else's charts. It makes no difference. If your ADR is there and my ADR is there and I'm using 100 ADR reversals, I'm going to get into a trade and you're not. And another day you're going to get into a trade and I'm not. The odds of both of those trades working is exactly the same. So whether it hits or doesn't hit one person or another person, it doesn't matter. It's a reason to get into the market. What happens after that entry is how you make your money, not why you got in. The reason for getting in is irrelevant. The market movement after the entry is what causes the profit or the loss. Any chance to look at gold? No. Don't trade it. The poor US taxpayer will foot the bill for the wars. Only if they're involved. If you're not involved in the war, you don't pay for it, do you? It's the Russians that will pay for it. They're the ones that are going to go bankrupt if they carry on doing what they're doing. There's only so many bullets you can manufacture before you run out of money to manufacture bullets. And when you run out of money to manufacture bullets, you can't shoot. If you can't shoot, you lose. It's always about money. Wars, aren't they? Who's got the biggest fleet of jets? Me. You've won. Who's got the money to build the most nukes? Me. He's won. Seems I don't see names. You have your charts. This scene, but. Talking in riddles you are. Woke up to TP's hit. Glad the week is over. Good man. They are footing the bill for weapons for Israel. Yeah, I know, yeah. This is wars are annoying in many respects. Especially when at the beginning of the Ukraine war, special military operation, every time Putin opened his mouth, the stock market collapsed. It was brilliant because he opened his mouth quite often, a couple of times a week. So all you did was hit the short button on the indices and just waited for Putin to speak. I remember there was one time in the live room and I was sitting here going, just watch in case Putin speaks. Because every time he's spoken so far, we've had a big collapse. At the moment, we're short on the DAX. So I'm not going to put a target on this. And I went off and did something else. We were looking at some other charts and somebody shouted DAX. And I was like, whoa. So I went into the news feed. Funnily enough, Putin had said something. And I was like, close. Thank you very much, Mr. Putin. Basically, the market just panics as soon as he says something because they're waiting for him to press the button. He hasn't said anything for ages. Apart from this morning, he blamed the UK and specifically Boris Johnson for talking him out of not stopping the war in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin, the biggest bully in the world, is blaming Boris Johnson, the biggest blonde-haired buffoon in the world, for talking him out of a war. Couldn't make it up, could you? Yes. Boris told me not to end the war, so I didn't. We could have ended it 18 months ago, but Boris told me not to. That's a really bad Russian accent. It's not a Russian accent at all. Ridiculous, isn't it? Like, it's not a war either. It's a special military operation. We call it a war in the rest of the world. You can call it what you like, mate, but you're bombing the crap out of them. You're at war. Afternoon IT. Russian economy is doing very well. On paper, it is. Don't forget the Russians just put up a screen of, this is what's happening, everybody. It's a bit like a duck. Nice and serene. Underneath, it's going like that. Don't believe it. Their economies, they're spending an awful lot of money. They were poor when they started, apart from the oligarchs. Anybody that lives in the middle, absolutely loaded. Anybody who doesn't live in the middle, destitute. There'll be an uprising there at some point. I appreciate British sarcasm. Just saying. Thank you, Brian. I do realise some jokes get lost on some Americans. Not all. It's like, obviously, The Office. Yeah, I don't know if you're in America. The Office isn't yours. We started The Office. Ricky Gervais started The Office in the UK, then sold it to you guys in America, and you remade it with your comedians in the same way as we did it. But it's English sarcasm, and it just doesn't translate. It doesn't work. The US Office just doesn't work because it's just not. It just doesn't work. It's weird. Putin and Boris passed on a message from the US, and I think he did. The American office is awful. It is awful. I love the actors in it. Brilliant, amazing comedians, but just they can't deliver UK sarcasm, black comedy. It just doesn't work, does it? We see things really stupidly simple. Right. So it's going to be a painful afternoon again. It's just the way this market is at the moment. It's just painful. Look at this Dow. I mean, the fact that the Dow is just sitting here doing absolutely nothing while the NASDAQ's pumping like a lunatic just tells the story, doesn't it? There's absolutely no confluence across anything at the minute, and no real volume of any description. We're just not getting the breaks and the moves and the trends at the moment. We're just doing loads and loads of I've no idea where the hell I'm going type movement. So we'll see where we go today, but targeting 2R down on the Dow. S&P obviously target up at 5R. I will watch the pre-market high today and see if we get a double top off the Globex highs. But it's sit, watch and wait type afternoon, really. And the DAX obviously still dropping at the moment, so I'll just keep trailing down that entry until we get that bull run, and then I'll get out on the bull run. Tough. Doesn't look like they're doing anything with the Canadian news either. So the CAD news, we've basically we're up 6 points on the CAD, Aussie CAD. Euro's rallying hard. Pound is rallying hard. This is just the euro and the pound rallying. That's all that is. It's not to do with the Canadian move. Look at these. I mean, look at these wicks. It's just, this is just what it's like at the minute, isn't it? It's just so messy. Tons and tons of movement up and down. But you look at the candlesticks, the actual movement is minute. It's, it's just, and then we undo the whole lot in one go. So we spend 5 hours with indecision, going, and no, not sure. But we were a little bit more bearish than we were. And then we undo the whole lot. So ADR reversals are great at the moment in the respect of you've got much more chance of getting out of those. But anything to do with extension and reversion, if you're looking for anything more than an ADR, is just so difficult. And God help you if you're a trend trader. There's no trends anywhere, is there? Cheers us up. Cheer us up with the new EA. I haven't had a chance to work on it at all. Yeah. It's still there. It's still testing. Still working. Everything's doing what it should be doing. I've basically just got to test. I've just got to spend a few hours just checking everything is doing what it says on the tin, basically. What am I on this? Long. Next long position. 22, 42, that's correct. 22 apart, 44 apart, 17 apart. ADR was lower yesterday. That's fine. Yeah, it's all working. I'm just waiting. I just want something to hedge. I'm just trying to get something to hedge, but I just need to. There we go. We got one. Euro US dollar. Just need to check the hedge functionality is working. We should have a new long and new short entry planned. Next short, next long. Perfect. Sells there. Should be 33. 33. 33. Perfect. Entry and entry. 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 It all works. I think this might be, touching wood, the first EA that I've built and forward tested and not found a bug on. I think I may have surpassed myself. Doing 100% what it says on the tin, exactly as it should be. Pound US dollar is going to close out very soon if it rallies ever so slightly more. Target is, oh no, 535. Yeah, no, I need a lot more on this. 535. Yeah, I need a lot more. Because I need to test. I need to test that it's closing out at the correct levels as well. ADR entry short, long, short. Euro New Zealand. So these should all close out at $268. 268, 262, 261. It's all working, guys. I'm amazed. I should do more testing at the weekend in the strategy tester. But yeah, so far, so good. DAX is still dropping. Out a little early on that. So on the DAX, I'm not sure where we're going. Yes, I am. We're going down to... so we're sitting at this low at the minute. So somewhere around here. There we go. Oh no, that was just a new buy stop going in. That's really close. So I should get that triggered hopefully now. But I will get ready to re-hedge it. That's a hell of a drop. We should get a nice pullback off of that. Nice profit. So we should be able to get that 176 target out of the DAX. Dow's still stuck as a thing. Sorry, I have seen the indicator page. I see more 4 indicators, but cannot see your chart names you have now on. So don't worry about, just look at the indicators. Yeah. Market reverse alerts I use. ADR I use. Support resistance propulsion I use. These are EAs. Yeah. These are the dashboards, RSI and TDI. Trade manager dashboard. ADR alert dashboard. Yeah. The only thing I don't use is that, because I trade automatically with the EA. Every other indicator on this page is here. That is the RSI dash. That is the ADR dash. This is support resistance propulsion, drawing all these lines. This is the market reverse alerts indicator. This is the ADR indicator. They're all on that page. This is the stock index hedge, EA. Which is a variation of the opening range breakout EA. This one. Market reverse alerts EA is what's taking every single one of these trades on these 3 accounts. It's all there. Go and click up here, position trading handbook, and I'll put the link in there. Go and read that and go through the content in there, and everything will make sense. Why are Ukrainian peace talks dependent on Russia pulling out of Crimea? I don't know. Because I don't know. It's one of those weird things, isn't it? It's like you could ask the question, why does the UK own Jersey and Guernsey? They're French. They're off the coast of France. It's close. The same as the Falkland Islands, which are in another continent completely. Yeah, Crimea is a little area, isn't it, off the coast of Ukraine? But Russia's got it. But it's Ukrainian, really, isn't it? But then again, Ukraine was Russia in the USSR, wasn't it? So it's all to do with land. I've no idea. I don't pretend to start to know why, and I don't really care why. I just wish they'd stop, because it would make life so much easier, because we wouldn't all be sitting in the mess that we're in now. Because if oil hadn't gone through the roof in the Ukraine war, the inflation wouldn't have gone through the roof, interest rates wouldn't have gone through the roof, my mortgage wouldn't have gone up, and I wouldn't be paying more for everything I spend on. And it's all Vladimir Putin's fault, as far as I'm concerned. So as soon as someone takes him out and sorts it out, the better. Only one solution: send in John Wick and his big thumb. You certainly got the vehicle for it. Yeah, but the trouble is, and this is John Wick, literally could walk into Russia, walk into the Kremlin, take out everybody, just hold his jacket up, kill everybody, pile in, find Putin, job done, take over Russia, and turn the whole thing into an assassin's playground. It'd be brilliant. There's a film there. Copyright. Slow. I have just bought all. What? Afternoon pot DJ? You've just bought all what? All of the indicators. Hang on a minute. You didn't know what they were a minute ago. Slow down. Learn first. Learn the strategy first. You may not need all of these indicators. You may not even like all these indicators. Do the position trading handbook first. Follow that. You can do everything manually as well. You don't need indicators and EAs. I use them because I like to use them, because I like everything being easy. But you do not need everything. Fingers crossed for the new EA. Just out of curiosity, how many lines of code is it? I have no idea. I've actually no idea. I can't even find it. $21,000. So it is down from 30,000. In fact, I think the market reversal alerts EA is actually more than 30,000. Oh, I haven't got the source file in there. No, I haven't got the source file in there, so I can't see. Yeah, 21,292. It's not optimized yet, though, so that will come down with optimization. When you're developing software, you don't do it clean. You just get it working, and then you optimize. So at the moment, an awful lot of this stuff works on tick, like this is all working on tick. You can see every time it ticks, it moves. Yeah, which means that every time there is a tick in the market, it's running 29,000 lines of code on 28 pairs if you're running it on a VPS. So I will be optimizing it. So there will be settings in there to run in the strategy tester, which work on candle close only. So you're going to miss all the ticks, and only when a candle closes, you do certain calculations. Drawing tools, every single line on here, every candle gets deleted and redrawn. There's all sorts of stuff that is happening, which doesn't need to happen all the time. So there's a level of optimization you go through which reduces everything down. But that's when it's ready, not now, because it's in development. So it's just get stuff working, basically. Make sure everything works and then tidy it up. But there is only a certain level of optimization you can do. There are certain things we need to know on tick. For example, if we did only calculate, so this total profit target, for example, we only need to calculate that once when we optimize, when we initialize the EA, when we go like that, that calculation only needs to happen once, which is now. Yeah. It only needs to do that now, but in this version of the EA, it does it every tick. It recalculates that number. So it's things like that which will get dropped out, which will speed it up. And in the strategy tester, the best thing to do is to turn that off completely in the strategy tester. So it won't run any of that on candle, on tick, or on anything. So there's a load of calculations which will just be bypassed. They'll still be in the code, but there's all sorts of ways you can optimize stuff. So, but there's only certain things you can do. There's certain stuff that needs to happen on tick. If we don't calculate the open profit on tick, how on earth is it going to know it needs to shut a trade? Yeah, so this number here has to be done on tick. And so does that. But it could be that we say, I didn't want to do this on candle close, which means that if this was to, for example, do that, and the target was, say, here, it would do it on tick there. But what if that candle slammed down to here? If we calculated it on candle close, we would make more profit. However, if it ticked through the target and the candle closed up there, it wouldn't close our positions out. So there's, again, even with things like this, there's pluses and minuses to working on tick and working on candle close. I always like to work on candle close for signals because I want to make sure it's happened. But if the open of a candle, for example, the way that the logic works at the moment with next short position is the candle open has to be above that level. The candle close, however, can be anywhere. But I want it to at least be above that level when the candle opens. But if you get a news event, and that is where the close of the candle is, it will open a trade because it opened above that level. There's always going to be anomalies. So you could say, well, if it's certain distance away from there, I don't want to do that. But then what do you set the distance at? What's the right thing? What's the wrong thing? Then you enter more variables. The more variables you enter, the more complex a system or strategy gets, the more impossible it is to get an alpha edge on it because there's too many variables to backtest. There's too many things that can affect the result. So you've got to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah, sometimes it's going to do that and you're going to go, oh, crap, I didn't really want that one. Shut it. And then it will go, all right, sorry, I'll, next time we get up there, I'll put it on again for you. Sometimes it might do that and you'll be like, hang on a minute, it's below that level. And then the market will drop like that and you'll go, oh, that was good. And it'll be a happy thing. There's no right or wrong. It's just, you've got to give it a set of rules. It's a dumb instrument. But there's many, many ways to crack a walnut. You give 3 programmers, yeah, the same job. You get completely different code back from every single one of them. Yeah, there's not one way to do stuff. There's many ways to achieve the same thing. Same with traders. Yeah, there's 1,000 strategies out there. They all will get you in and out of the market. They're all different. None of them better than others, are there? They're just different. Because the market is what makes you the money, not the strategy. Just check the DAX. Okay, so DAX is on the run. So aggressive entry is working so far. Looks like we're only going to need to push up into the top of that propulsion gap, probably, to get out. Crimea was Greek once, was it? Probably. I mean, everything's been something at some point, isn't it? Weren't we Nordic at some point in the UK? I don't know. Everybody's moved around at some point, haven't they? Somewhere. Mark RS, confused. Okay. Well, hopefully that document will unconfuse you. Hopefully this will unconfuse you. Go and read that. What new EA is coming out? It's position trading. It's the same. It's virtually the same as the market reversal alerts EA. It's just a much more simplified thing. So it's not a new strategy. It's just position trading, but it also has a manual option as well. It's nothing new. You don't need it. Use the market reversal alerts EA. It's just going to be more functional than the market reversal alerts EA in the fact that it will simplify everything. Afternoon outro. You've missed a really exciting session. We have 2 hedges and 1 no mover. NASDAQ's doing well. Still not where I want it to be. I need to move that down, actually. I'm just going to move that shy of that 1800 level, just in case it spreads at the highs. Make sure I get out up there. If we get there. As Martin just said, yeah, we're coming up to that level. So key level, big round number. We're out and obviously new highs. So it's a big round number bounce opportunity at ADR. So if we do get there, by the time we get there, the market's going to be pretty tired because it's been going long for like 4 or 5 hours. So it'll be ready to pull back, and we're going to hit potential for a load of sells. So if we can get there, it's going to take some moving to get there as well. Look, you know, we've been rallying out of Frankfurt sideways. We've had news which has exhausted the market. We've put in a lot of volume through the news. We haven't got any direction out of it, but there's a lot of orders gone in, and now we're trying to rally back again. So it's going to take a hefty old move like this, 4 or 5 hours worth of sustained buying to get us up to that level. So it's going to be quite hard work on a Friday afternoon as well. We're going to lose the volume from London in an hour. So it's going to be down to New York after lunch to drive it there. So that'll be, I think it'll be tough today. But we'll see. Just about to get out the DAX. Max, is the H1 hedging taking a trade when the H1 RSI? No, it doesn't use RSI at all. It's just when a reverse alert is triggered. And I am manually targeting, yeah. So the EA version that ran last year, okay, all it does, which is this set file, all it does is it literally takes trades on, it takes every reversal alert, yeah, with 0.2 risk on half an ADR. There is no RSI on the H1 time frame. There is no higher time frame RSI used. There's no moving average filter. There's no higher time frame moving average filter. There's no ADR filter. There is nothing. It literally gets in every time there's an H1 reversal alert. It scales in with a 1.3 multiplier, and it scales in half an ADR apart. And it's always more than half. We're trading the hourly time frame. By the time you've got a second reversal alert on the hourly time frame, it's way more than an ADR. So half an ADR is just saying, just get us in on the next reversal alerts to scale in. And it was targeting half an ADR of profit. So the only thing I've done is I've set that to 0. So I am not targeting half an ADR of profit. I am targeting a propulsion gap. But most of the time, I'll be targeting somewhere between half an ADR to an ADR. So it's not going to be a massive amount of difference. And the only other thing that is different is I am doing manual drawdown control. This was taking a third of the position off at 1.5 ADR in drawdown. So it was automatically scaling out of moves. I, as I've always done, prefer to watch the P&L, and rather than use a distance to scale out. So for example, that move there was 52 pips, which is 1 ADR. So that wouldn't have done drawdown control. If it had moved down to here, it would have taken a third of that position off. I would have watched that drop, that Aussie CAD, and gone, well, it's only in, I mean, up here it's in next to nothing, but down there it was probably in, what's that, 1 ADR, so 0.4. So that'll be 0.6% of drawdown. I'm not doing drawdown control when I'm only in 0.6 of drawdown. I'm not in anything, am I? I'm in nothing. I'm just in drawdown. So that was very aggressive with its drawdown control. And what I found was, when you look at the trades taken, if something moves like that, it will do drawdown control, it'll take a third of the position off just as it gets a second reversal alert on, brings the average down, and then pushes back up, retests and exits. So you took that drawdown for absolutely no reason. You just took a third loss on the trade just because it moved. We know it moves. So I'm using my normal strategy, which is when something's getting pretty hot, I'll start dealing with it. For me, it will depend on what's going on in the market. But the reason I'm sitting in this amount of drawdown is literally because I've got 28 pairs on. But that's why I've banked 18.5%, 19% nearly. So I'm just dealing with that manually. And with the targeting side of things, like Aussie US, I'm targeting up there. The chances of it hitting TP up there are incredibly remote. If this ping pushes up to here and I see this sitting at 0.35%, it's coming off and going down there. It would have targeted half an ADR with that set file. Half an ADR from this position here is 55, is 25 pips. So it would have got out of the trade there. Now, I haven't got out of the trade yet. It would have exited there. So the other thing I noticed was it was getting out really quick. So I took that trade off there. So we entered there, exited there. That move was 44 pips. Half an ADR is 28. So the EA on autopilot would have got out here. I got out there. I missed half the move. Yeah. So manually targeting is going to give you the opportunity to make a lot more profit. The only downside with not using automatic drawdown control is there may be stuff that gets a little bit more squeezed where it would have dealt with it faster and I will deal with it later and I might take more heat. But if I'm taking more heat, I'm also going to bank a hell of a lot more money as well. So I think I can do better than the 140% it got. But we will see, won't we? But if you want to do it manually, that set file is the one that ran in the live room last year for 9 months, and we turned it off at the end of the year and went, nice, 140%. And that is that exact set file on full autopilot, never touched it. So very, very good. But you will be sitting in 35% of drawdown at times because you are constantly in the market in the wrong direction because it's hedging. But high risk, high reward. Low risk, low reward. How big are your balls? That's basically the question. I'm trading the March NAS futures already at 17,984. Yeah. Yeah, well, we see if they react on the futures market. Quite often, I mean, obviously the futures market is this is a CFD, which is obviously not what everybody's trading. The market is trading futures. So yeah, if we're nearly there on futures, we might find a kickback before we get to that target. So I've got quite a long way to go to get there on the CFD, but we had this with oil. Oil obviously has got two different prices, Brent and the other one. One of them hit the big round number and bounced before the other one, which brought all oil down. So you never know. Obviously, it doesn't, big round numbers also are not exact. Yeah, you're going to get around it. Look at the S&P right now. We're bouncing off the 5,000 round number at the moment. But the 5,000 round number, oh, I've already got it on there. It just happens to be exactly where my short line is. But that's the big round number there. Yeah. So we are reacting at the big round number at the moment, potentially, and it might just drop from there. And everyone will go, look, it went up to 5,000 and bounced. It didn't go up to 5,000. It went up to 5,025, but somewhere around 5,000 it bounced. Yeah, it's a big difference, yeah, between, I mean, look at 4,750, which is the next quarter point. It's all the way down there, look. Quarter points is what the market tends to use. Big distance, isn't it? It's weeks and weeks of price action. So you're not going to hit it to the pip. You're going to hit around the area. If they're going to use it, obviously. You know, we fly through stuff as well. As the NASDAQ is proving at the moment. Do you think I could position trade alongside a job? Yeah. You can access a PC. But if you want to position trade alongside a job, you can use the EA to do it for you. All you've got to do is check it. So if you're position trading, you only need to check if you're using, I mean, even if you're using the hourly, you know, I mean, look at me. I come in here every day on the H1M5 account. I come into the morning live room. We look at it. I come into the afternoon live room. We look at it. Doesn't really move a lot, does it, in the 5 hours between the two sessions? Yeah. So start at 7:50 in the morning, come on at 2:20 in the afternoon. Not a lot of difference. This is trading hourly charts with 5-minute reversal alerts. So you can easily just get the EA running and trade H1M5, and you only need to check it 2-3 times a day. If you're trading H4M15, there's only 12 candles in a day. I've only got 10 fingers, so I can't actually do that. But John Wick could, because he regularly has more fingers than he should have. But he also has detached fingers as well, unfortunately, as we know. This one's got a good detached finger on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thumb. That's 7. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you definitely can position trade. That's the whole point. That's how people get into it, because you can position trade while you're doing your job. You can do exactly what I'm doing on exactly the same size of account that I'm trading on with a full-time job. You don't have to be sitting here all day. If you checked it once every 3 to 4 hours, all you're literally doing when you're position trading, which is all you see me doing, is coming in here and looking at this column and going, anything to bank? No, I'll come back later. Anything to bank? No, I'll come back later. Got a news event coming up. I'll see if I can be on when the news is on. That's all you got to do. Let the EA take the strain. It does the monitoring. It does the entries. You monitor what's going on. That's all your job is watching your P&L. And if you're trading multiple accounts, multiple P&Ls. Pound CAD 125. In either direction. Jesus. This Canadian dollar, either the pound is going through the roof. It is going through. Okay, I'm going to be stopped at the pound yen as well. Oh no. We seem to have some yen strength as well. Look, yen, the pound is rallying like crazy at the moment, but it is not managing to rally against the yen at all, which means the yen is strong. The US is also not able to rally against the yen. Everything else is coming down. So we've got a really strong push on the yen, really strong push on the pound going through this afternoon. Canadian dollar seems weak. Off the back of that news, very weak. So they don't like the Canadian unemployment. So I've got something I can bank. Hooray! Hooray for my team. What are we banking? Pound CAD. Not yet, though. Next week. Yeah, definitely can position trade with a job. This is why I show in the, you know, in the Bootcamp, the first section of the Bootcamp, the second section of the Bootcamp is about multi-time frame analysis and what time frames is probably on the slide. Oh no, it's not. There you go. what time frames you should use depending on if you are a full-time worker and you cannot check charts. If you just literally, you can maybe check it at breakfast, maybe check it in the evening, full-time work, kids, everything. You could position trade weekly RSI extensions and take 4-hour reversal alerts. It'll be very slow, but use higher risk. If you work from home or you've got access to a computer at work where you can check the charts every now and again, you don't need to watch them. You need to just pop in for 10 minutes every few hours. Morning break, lunch, afternoon break. That's all you need. You can trade daily, hourly, or 4-hour M15. I think you can probably do hourly M5 as well, but I usually recommend that because you need to be flexible in the fact that when news is kicking off, which is tend to be anything from 8:30 in the morning, 10:30, 1:30, 3 o'clock. So there's intervals through the day. Every week, news is always released at the same time. It's always the same. Yeah. So we have a 9:30 news event. We have a 3 p.m. news event, an 8 a.m. news event. There aren't much news events this week, so it's a bad week to give an example, but a 1:30, yeah. US news is either 1:30 or 3 o'clock. Never anything else. It's 1:30 or 3 o'clock. So if you're trading H1M5 and we've got a big day of news coming up, you might need to be available at 1:30 and 3 o'clock on the same day. There you go. Perfect. Friday next week. Look. PPIs come out at 1:30. University of Michigan comes out at 3. The New York Open is at 2:30, squeezed in between it. So you see, there's a lot of volatility through the day, which means if you are full-time working, it's a little bit trickier to trade H1M5. But you can do it. But that's the wrong one. 6 likes. That better not be right. 45. Let you off. But yeah, so that's kind of what I recommend. A lot of other people recommend as well. But you could, that can be M5. Before I switched to H1M5 last year, I was trading H4M15. I switched from H4 to M5, and it pretty much did exactly the same thing. The difference between a 5-minute reversal alert and a 15-minute reversal alert will be ever so slightly slower, but you'll usually get the same entry, virtually. Go and look at a 5-minute and a 5-minute chart. Yeah, your entry's there. 15-minute chart. That one is a bit different. Typical. There's always one. That one is very different. But most of the time, your 5-minute and your 15 are going to be very close. There's only 3 candles between the time frames. So not going to be far out, is it? I keep sending images of that man images of that man with the extra fingers. Yeah, I got rid of John with the extra fingers. I think the Time Machine one did a good job, didn't it? Yes, he's not done bad. That's, I think, probably the best we've had. I mean, he's got really abnormal trigger fingers, which you would expect John Wick to have. He uses that a lot, doesn't he? So he gets a workout. It's a little bit longer than normal. But somehow his watch has melted into his wrists. But got the right number. Not normal, though, is it? Normally it really gets it wrong. It's Friday afternoon. Oh, Dax, don't do this to me. Come on. Let's pop up a little bit more. Pound Swiss, Brian FX, is that Keanu Reeves? Yes. AI can be really lame at times. Pound Swiss, approaching monthly high. Yeah, we are actually at it right now. Look. So that's last month's high. Double top potential. Failing that, you've got the triple top from December at 125 ADR. So if we break this today and it's pops through 125 ADR, we're going to hit that area. We know we definitely didn't want to do that. And then you're not far away from the previous high there as well, which is 225 ADR. So between where you are now, you've got 2.25 ADR, which is potentially 3 scale-ins to a position before it will pull back on that entire leg. So potentially a good opportunity on that. It was extended the other day, and I'm not in it. So I must have been out of it. Oh, no, I did get into it. Yeah, so I've got into it the other day when we got the RSI extension. So I'm in. Too close to get a next entry, though. It's too close for me to take a second on that. This is the exact reason I'm developing this EA, because in situations like that, when you look at it and you go, it's 5 pips out from being 3/4 of an ADR distance. Yeah. I'm looking at that, bouncing off that high of a monthly level, and I'm thinking, I know it's like that's 40 pips. I need about 45. I know it's not far off, so I'd be going, yeah, I'll take another one. And I just hit the button, and then it would auto adjust everything, put the next short position in for me, job done. That's the exact reason I'm building this thing, because that looks like a great bounce. And if that bounce does work, rather than having my entry there, I'd much rather have it there and be out down here. But the EA will go, I've got a reversal. Excellent. We've got the sellers on board. However, we're not quite far enough away from that entry, so I won't take it. Human beings need to be able to see these things and react to them when they happen. That's rejecting that monthly high. Limit orders are triggering. It's obvious. Whether or not they hold, we'll find out. And if they don't hold, we've got a lovely little level coming up in half an ADR where we're going to hit those last 3 batches of sellers. We'll see. Come on, DAX. Just literally one more little push. Just pop up into this propulsion gap for me, and then we'll be done. Just had an alert go off. Euro CAD is just hit ADR. Look at that move. Look at that. 100% ADR down and up. That is definition of a whipsaw, isn't it? Look at that. What a mess. What a mess. But what to do when news are? Take profits in before the news and turn off the EA? No. Why would you turn off the EA? The EA is there to manage your positions for you. If the news goes against you, what do you want to do? Scale into your position. If the news goes your way, what do you want to do? Get out. What does the EA do? Get you into your positions and get you out of your positions. Why would you turn it off? Job is to do exactly that. React to the news. All the other EAs out there that use stop losses tell you, oh, we've got a news filter, so we don't trade through the volatility. What, you mean that thing that moves the price up and down and makes us money? You don't trade through the bit that makes you the money. So you trade through all the crap and wait for it to move the money, and then you don't trade it. Lunacy. Everything you hear out there in every course you ever do, everything everybody in retail trading ever says is 100% the opposite of what you need to do. What do you need to make money? Movement. What happens on a news event? Movement. What is my profit doing now? Getting towards target. Why? Because of the news. Why would I possibly not trade through news events? It's what makes money. If you have profit on the table, so let's say I haven't got anything else I have. What's that? It's about 0.25%. So Euro CAD, we're looking at it now. So let's say, for example, there is a Euro CAD news event coming up in 15 minutes. I'm sitting here with roughly 0.25% on the table. In this case, I would go, yeah, I'll close that because I can bank that and spend it. If the news goes against me, I can add it back on and take it off again and spend it twice. If the news goes my way, my other positions go into profit. So banking before the news is a win-win. If I don't bank before the news and the news goes against me, that disappears and turns into a red number that I have to deal with. So you'll see me often in here ahead of news events, just banking profit. Just because I can't get it back, but I can put it on and take it twice. And I can also just let everything else run into profit. But you need news. Yeah, this thing here is what makes the market go up and down. If we didn't have this thing, the market wouldn't go up and down. If the market doesn't go up and down, you can't make money. You can't put risk on and you can't take risk off. It's the only thing that makes us money. So any EA you see out there that's got a news filter that doesn't trade through the news, it's just basically saying, I don't fancy money. Pointless. It's the only thing that moves the market. But that's because they're using a stop loss, which is never going to work anyway, is it? Because all you're doing is you're saying, here you go, it's a load of loss, take it. Yeah. So I can understand why they have news filters, because they don't want you to see the amount of loss that the thing will make. Because all it's going to do is hit the stop loss all the time, isn't it? Because that's what stop losses do. Stop. Well, they should be called stop profits, really, shouldn't they, if you think about it? Because what happens when you hit a stop loss? You give some money to your broker. What does that stop you doing? Making a profit. Brian, Telegram. Uh-oh. Oh, no, it's nothing come through. You haven't hit the button again, Brian. You keep saying that. You keep saying Telegram, and then nothing's there. And you forget to press the send button. 4 o'clock. Sorry, I came in a little late. Did we do Euro US dollar? Probably. Not allowed to show that. Are there any Russians in here? Checking for cameras. Agent number 1. Oh, John, what's happened to your face? And have you ever seen him use a gun like that? That looks like it's out of GoldenEye. You remember the Nintendo 64 game, GoldenEye? Oh, what has happened to his Elephant Man hand? Look. Oh, that's bad. I'm assuming that's the trigger. He's obviously got his other finger there. He's in safety mode, isn't he? Poor old John. He does get some stick. But yeah, what's that all about? Is that even the Kremlin? It's not, is it? It's like the Kremlin. It's obviously meant to be the Kremlin. He's on top of a car park opposite the Kremlin without a sniper rifle. Even the Kremlin's gone wrong, look. AI. Look at his face, though. That's a bad John, isn't it? That's a really bad John. Poor old John. Look at that. He's been through the wars, hasn't he? He's either been through torture or he's lent on a grill for a long time and not really noticed, and he's gone, oh, I seem to have lost my hand. He lost a finger, didn't he? That bloke chopped his finger off. Sorry, I just ruined John Wick if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, where have you been? Why do you then say it's a problem to work and don't watch the news? Why do you then say it's a problem to work and don't watch the news? Because when the EA handles the news, then why do I have to look at the news? You don't. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. I think you're overcomplicating this, Max. The market will move with or without you. all I'm saying is, if Aussie CAD had a news event coming up in 15 minutes, I'm sticking that down there. If I'm at work and I can't do that, I can't do that. That's it. Yeah. So trading comes down to the reason you make money, the reason your P&L goes up is because there is a position that you took for a reason that has gone in the direction you wanted it to go in. When you take the position off is down to when you look at the chart, nothing more. If you have an EA that is programmed to exit you at a specific point in time, either a time point, a price point, or a distance point, the EA will automatically do that for you. If you are getting out of trades yourself manually, right, and I don't see this now, I won't do it. If I go to sleep, wake up on Monday morning, and the Australian dollar has had some news overnight and it's up here, yeah, I'm asleep. By the time I wake up, it's down here. That's what I can take. If I was awake in the night, that is what I could have taken. The distance of the where you take the profit off of your trade is down to you. Yeah. So ideally, you would be watching this 24/7. If you can't, you can't. If you can watch the news, great. Take some money off before the news. If you can't watch the news, you can't take the money off. Then it may disappear and it may be twice as much. But this is what everybody misses. You do not make money out of the market by getting an entry correct and setting a target at the right level. You get out of the market because when you spot an amount of money, you put it in the bank. It could go down there and do this for 4 weeks. And every time it gets up to there, I've got an opportunity to take it off. Whether it's done or not is down to either me or my EA program to take it off for me. Trading is simple. You flip a coin, you press a button, and you wait for the market to get into profit. If it doesn't get into profit, you adjust your start price. And you wait for the market to get into profit. And if that doesn't work, you place another, you adjust your start price, and you wait for the market. The market moves up and down. You can't predict it. You can watch it. That's your job. Watch it. Wait. This is all. I've been waiting for this. This pound yen, I've been waiting for this since the 2nd of January. I'm still waiting. I have no control over whether or not I make money out of that. The market decides that. I don't. I can't do anything about it. It doesn't. I don't care how good your system is. It's going to fail regularly. Yeah. The only way you make money is by taking it out of the market when it's there. You can't control when it arrives. So I say market, news is what moves the market. Whether you watch news is up to you. Can you watch news? No. Then you can't. Can you watch news? Yes. Do you want to watch news? No. Then don't. Tied up to you. There is no right or wrong way of doing anything. There is whatever you want to do. You have to relax into trading. You can't be strict. Out the DAX, closed out 176. 182 actually. A little bit more. I just got out of the DAX talking to you. I did nothing. That did it. Why did it do it? Because I told it to it. Is it the right place to get out of the DAX? No idea. If that thing drives up by another 2 hours, I was totally wrong. Do I care? No, because I just made $176 to $182. Why did I make $182? Because I took it. Did I get the entry right? God, no, I was totally wrong this morning. I've been in it since this morning at 7:50, 8 o'clock. Totally wrong all day. Just made $170. Why? Because the market moved up and down. That's the thing you've got to get through your head. Control. First video you watch on this. It's only 10 minutes long. Teaches you everything you need to know about the market. Nothing. You can't do anything about it. Stop trying to look for a system or a strategy do I trade the news? Don't I? Should I use a news filter? Shouldn't I use it? Do what you like. It doesn't matter. Nobody on the planet knows what you should do because every time something happens, it goes up or down and it moves through time. You haven't got any control over that. When you press that button, you get on a train. That train either goes to your station or it goes to another station. When it goes to the other station, you just get off and get back on again. And hope it goes to your station up there. When it gets to your station up there, get off, spend the money. But stop trying to control price. Stop trying to control an entry. You haven't got a choice. you can use my entry methods, or you can use a Bollinger Band or a moving average or an RSI or a MACD. Use whatever the hell you like. Enter when there's a bearish engulfing. Enter when there's a shooting star. Enter when it hits resistance only. Enter when there's a coin flip. Enter when the moon's full. Makes no difference to anything. It won't help you get a better result. What will help you get a better result is when you flip the coin, see the moon, and press the button. When you wait for the price to go positive and you take the money, that's when you become profitable. You can't control that. So use the news if you want, or don't use the news. It won't help you in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I personally would never use a news filter and say I never want to take a reverse alert when the news is on, because the market's moving. I need market movement. Why am I struggling this month to make money? Because it's not going anywhere. Not that one. But it's just sideways. We're getting nothing news. Yeah, totally. It's not gone anywhere. I got out of that trade short. Yeah, I took a long there. I got out of that long there. Why did I do that? Because it's going nowhere. But look how long it took for me to get out. A week. Look how long that one took for me to get out. 2 weeks. Why am I sitting in this thing for a month and a half? Because all it's done is that. We've had, I think it's 3 moves on the yen. News. All I'm waiting for is one news event in my direction and I'm out. I just got to wait because I can't control which way the news goes. And that's what makes it go up and down. New Zealand dollar CAD. Look at it. This is November, December. One news event that makes the New Zealand dollar weaker than the CAD. We've had a balance, price discovery, balance. Yeah. Since December, we've had one move on the New Zealand dollar CAD. You sit in it and you have to wait. But that is the important thing, the news. So all I'm saying is news is critical that you understand that it moves the market. If you don't want to understand what it will do to the market, that isn't relevant. But if you know that there is an inflation figure coming out and you've got $200 on the table, take the $200. That's it. That's all that is important. And if you can't do that because you've got a full-time job, the news comes out at 3 and you've got a meeting with your boss at 2:30, you can't do anything about it, can you? So, tough. You wait until the next event gets you out, which might come next month. It might come next week. It might come tomorrow. You just don't know, do you? GoldenEye was awesome. It was awesome. God, I played GoldenEye for years. I spent my Nintendo, I got through many controllers on my Nintendo 64, 90% of them with GoldenEye. The best game ever. Back in the day, long time ago. News, the DAX is, sorry, not the DAX, the NASDAQ has just hit probably that big round number on futures. Do we chance an exit here? It's only 2.5 R. I'm getting out the NAS. So going to try an aggressive exit on the NAS from here. Probably going to trigger me straight into the shorts. Yeah, so straight into the shorts. Watching this, I'll put an aggressive re-hedge on. What have we got on this? 0.246. So I'm just going to put a re-hedge on at the highs. So looking just to get out with $94 short. So just looking for a pullback. If it wants to carry on, that's fine. Just looking for a pullback big enough to exit. If not, then I'll re-hedge there. So I'll have 2 hedges locked in. So it'd be double the loss. And then if that happens, I'll be targeting the highs that we looked at before. But Certainly looks like we're stalling here. We've had two good strong pushes to the upside. Both have been rejected. We're going bear at the moment. S&P stalled out for the last 20 minutes as well. The Dow is just absolutely dead. The Dow is just flatlined. Look, flatlined, totally flatlined. Still in the FTSE. So there was an exit on the FTSE there as well today, if you got out of that one, but that wasn't really a good level to take. Yes, it was. So it was that level that I identified. Look, so that did hold up that propulsion gap, the accumulation. Whether or not you could have got out on that, not sure that was enough room. By the time you got into that, you probably would have been there. 26. I don't think you would have. You might have got out on that. That might have been enough, but I didn't take it. So I'm going to wait in that one. Tough today again. Another tough day. Is it fair to say you can essentially run H1 hedging on the new EA since you can take manual entries on both directions, which the EA will manage? Yes. So yeah, you can manually. Yeah, it will be a very good product for, or good EA for hedging. I don't think there's anything I haven't got a trade on at the moment. I did see something earlier actually. There was an Aussie, wasn't there? I don't think there'll be much because I've set the trigger to be 65.35 on the RSI. There's not a lot that hasn't triggered an RSI extension. So pretty much everything is going to have a trade on it. Euro pound doesn't because it's just sideways. Look. So yeah, so basically what you could do is, regardless of what time frame you want to trade, if you trade in H1, so yeah, I mean, you could just basically go, right, I'm going to take a long here, hit the buy button when it gets there. If it pushes up and it comes down, hit the short button there. That's your hedge. Wait, the EA, if it pushes up, will automatically scale into your shorts for you and automatically scale into your longs for you in positions as normal. So it will run basically the H1 hedging set file that's running on the market reverse alerts EA, except you are the alert. So it's a totally manual way of getting in. So if you wanted to, you could use the market reverse alerts indicator and you just are the buy button because it's not going to use MRA. So yeah, you can do. NASDAQ's stalled out on the sell as well. Look. So no one in control yet. So this could go either way. 1800 putting up a fight. Yeah. Not for me because it's not 1800 yet, but if we've hit it, we were very close. Whoever said about being close to the 1800 level on futures, that may well be the reaction because obviously the CFD, the only difference between the cash, the CFD and the futures is the price. The market, the price action is the same. So the candlesticks all paint the same. So those candlesticks will be on the futures market as well. But the price is different. So you see, ideally you'd want a futures chart up as well next to you so you can see what's happening in both. But then you're overcomplicating things because you'd be reacting to that chart, taking trades on that chart, and you'd be like, well, that doesn't make sense on that chart. So you either want to trade one or the other. But big round numbers work, big round numbers fail. Yeah, they're a big round number. That's all they are. Whether or not the market has a desire to react at those and stop, take profits, or whether it decides not interested, I'm going for 18,250, we'll wait and see. Don't forget, all of these indices are to do with stock prices. Yeah, if there's a load of NASDAQ stocks which are doing well at the moment, 1800 means nothing. It's just a number. It will just go for it. We got a load of people want to buy NASDAQ stocks, they'll buy NASDAQ stocks. Just because it gets to 1800 Doesn't mean it's going to sell off. But we often do get reactions, don't we? So there's a couple of bits that are getting close. H1M5 mean reversion. I may be able to get out of some pound odd today, and I may be able to get out of the odd CAD. I've got 0.64 aggressive drawdown control today, so I'm kind of not really in any hurry to get out of any of this at the minute. Just waiting still. ADR reversals up 7%. Nothing really getting close to profit taking on that either, because we are just literally up, down, up, down, up, down all the time at the moment. So, but there's a lot of stuff coming into profit, which, if we get a continuation day on Monday, should be able to bank a load on Monday or Tuesday next week. Hedging is the same thing. So just sitting in stuff at the minute. Nothing particularly bad. 19% banked. And this thing is just mucking about at the moment. I've got ridiculous targets on this as well. So I'm going for stupidly high profit targets on stuff. So, you know, this is going to find it hard to get out of things, because the idea is I want to get this to take trades. I don't want it to get in and out and make money. I'm trying to get it into trouble so that I can make sure it works out and does what it should be doing. So the targets are huge. Like that one, 336 in profit, sitting in a nice profit, but it's got to get to 535 before it closes itself out, because it's got 2 trades on. If it only had 1 trade on, it would take itself off at 375. No, 267. So if that was the only trade, it would close that and that. It's not, because it's part of a bigger picture. It's waiting to go to the larger target. But it's all working. I'm very excited. Only because I've managed to program something and not break it first time. Top 7 NASDAQs account for 30% of the movement. Probably more than that, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it is very heavily weighted towards the top stocks, which is why you can get earnings. This is the thing with earnings. When you get the earnings fortnight coming in, you'll see like big names announce. Goldman Sachs, Procter and Gamble, Visa, and you go like, wow, stock's up 20%. Nothing moves, because Visa might be a big name to everybody, but it sits all the way down towards the bottom of the index. So it has very little impact on actual index movement, which is why we pay attention to the big name. Which days are the big names coming out? When's Google? When's Microsoft? When's Amazon? When's Apple? When's Facebook? Those are the ones that sit in that top 10%. Those are the ones that really kick the indexes off. And if they all go in the same way in the same week, that's when you get those big breakout candles. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's the top 7 account for 30%. Because I think it was something, the statistic I heard was the top 10 stocks account for more than 50% of the index movement. So if the top 7 account for 30%, that would be roughly the same, wouldn't it? Somewhere around. But who knows? There's not really any way, I don't think, of specifically tracking that. There probably is a mathematical equation you could use, but then again, how do you use it? Because you don't know which way the top 7 stocks are going to go each day. So it doesn't really help you, does it? And when are they going to go? Who's going to place the orders, and when are they going to place the orders? We can't time that. So it's kind of that type of statistic that doesn't help, isn't it? NASDAQ coming down. See if we can break that previous low that we've just put in. Right. Just got to... can you check the numbers of how many trades H1 hedging has taken compared to no, I can't really. Can I check the number of trades H1 hedging has taken compared to ADR reversals and H1M5? What, you mean it's got on now? 37 trades on H1 on hedging, 26 on ADR reversals, 33 on H1M5. I don't know quite how that helps you, but those are the numbers. So 33, 26, 37. But that's just what's on at the moment. How many trades are taken this month? I don't know. Go and have a look at the P&Ls. P&Ls are all on the FX Blue site. FX Blue. Does it say? Probably on here somewhere. I don't know. Number of trades. 107 this month on H1M5. This is... I really should have named these better, shouldn't I? This is up 8 grand. 8 grand. So this has got to be hedging, isn't it? $37. This is ADR reversals. So ADR reversals has done 136 trades as opposed to 107. And hedging has done 139 trades. I don't really know how that helps, but could you do a historic comparison chart? Historic comparison via Quant Analyzer? Yeah, you could. Probably. Depends what you mean by a historic comparison. NAS could be bad to put in a 5-minute market reversal alert. Depends how you're using the indicator, but that would have been the reversal alert, or that, depending if you're using wicks to the left. But so yeah, if it breaks that level, then yeah, we're definitely reversed. There's a lot of volume coming in, still a lot of jitteriness coming in now. It's just we're not getting at the open, are we? That's the trouble. It's the market's very, very slow at the open at the minute. This Dow, I might as well be asleep. I might as well just take this. It's $100. It's just not going anywhere. So I'm just going to take the Dow off. Bank it. It's $100. It's just not going anywhere. So there's no point in sitting there through it. You watch this thing absolutely collapse now. NASDAQ will completely collapse. The Dow will collapse. And I'll just go, oh, Christ's sake. Anyway, but yeah, out the Dow. So I've just got to deal with the S&P. Right, that's all I've got for you today. There's not really a lot else to talk about. We talked about lots of stuff. I don't know. So I'll be back on Monday, 7:50 for the Frankfurt session, and obviously same for New York. We've got a bank holiday on Monday in Japan. So the Asian markets will be very illiquid on Monday. So that could make a fair bit of slippage in the yen. So we need to be prepared for that. We've had a fairly decent attempt to go bull on the yen today, which hasn't stuck. But we have made the reversal. We've got the reversal alert. We are retesting the level at the moment. They are struggling to go too much higher. So hopefully we've stalled out at this level. But we'll have to wait and see. But on Monday, we could find that we get a big day in either direction. When the Japanese are on a bank holiday, sometimes the US takes advantage and we do get a big move. Doesn't necessarily have to be against the yen. It just means they move it because they can. So we'll see what happens on Monday, but we just need to be aware of that. It does happen sometimes. The only news we've got on Monday is Bailey. And that's not until the evening. So it's a no news day on Monday again. But we've got big days next week. We've got CPI for the Swissy and the US next week. The Swissy will be a particularly interesting one because they're not forecasting CPI to change. We've got unemployment, we've got retail, and we've got PPIs, next week as well. So CPI for the pound as well on Wednesday. So it's a lot of high impact news spread throughout the week. So it's be a good week next week, hopefully, for movement anyway. Hopefully. I mean, I knew it. Did I just say it? It's almost as if they got cameras in here, isn't it? Every time. Doesn't matter who you are, it happens to you as well. When you get out, it flies. If you don't get out, it comes the other way. If it misses your target, it never gets back to it. It's got an uncanny knack of doing it, isn't it? So coming down hard on the S&P and the Dow, which bodes well for the short NAS exit because hopefully if these two are dropping, we should get some momentum starting on that as well. FTSE's pushing down again, so I'm holding that position on the FTSE. Either that will come out as a hedge today and I won't go anywhere, or it won't. If it hits that, I will get an aggressive exit. If I can get an aggressive exit on that one, and the NASDAQ's played out, the Dow is played out, the DAX has played out, I'm just got to deal with this S&P. And the S&P today is going to be very hard to get out of because it's literally, hasn't even done 2R yet. Just no movement. Same as this. We've just hit 2R and it's taken 2 hours. So if that gets out today, it's a profitable day, but we'll see. But I've got a re-hedge on it if necessary. Interesting because hedging hasn't taken a massively high number of trades, which must mean H1M5 takes more. Yeah, of course it does. H1 is using H1 reversal alerts. Go and look at your chart and look at how many H1 reversal alerts you get a month, and then go down to M5 and look at how many M5 reversal alerts you get each month. It's about 10 times more. So you will get into more trades. To get a reversal alert on the hourly charts is a lot more difficult because you need strong pullbacks before you get those trades. We're playing very big swings on the hourlies, much bigger than on other time frames. So, price action on Dixie is just as nasty on the 5-minute. It will be because it's the inverse of this, basically, isn't it? Which is nasty. It's all nasty at the minute. Look at that NASDAQ. It's just going to annoy me. I got an opportunity to exit at break even. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to assume it can make a little bit more of a move down, but we'll see. This might be the wrong decision to make, but we're getting some nice bear moves here and here. This is fighting back, but this is still decent. So I think we might get another little push. I'm very, very close to exit. So that was $50. My target's 94. I literally need it here. One candle in it. Look at that bloody great bear candle going in. Bull candle even. One or the other. Right, so I'll be back on Monday. Anything you need, let me know. Other than that, I'll be around in Telegram. I will be around over the weekend because I want to get some final testing done. And yeah, we'll see where we go next week. All right, so have a good weekend. Where's the link to your FX Blue? I haven't got one, but it's here. I'll give you that link because that link is to all 3 accounts. I should rename these, shouldn't I? So that we know what they are. I bet I can't. I bet I can't rename them. If I can't rename them, I might reset them up with names that make sense. Because I just set them up. And I thought there was an area you could put text. But it asked me to put text in to describe what the strategy was. And I reckon it should be appearing here, and there's some bug and it doesn't appear, maybe. But there was something where you input what it was. It doesn't seem to appear anywhere, does it? No. They're there. That's the portfolio anyway. Right. I'll be back Monday. Anything you need, let me know. Other than that, have a good weekend. I will see you next week.